Let's now have a look at loops in Python program, and in this case we are going to focus our attention on the for loop and also on the while loop. These are the most basic loops in Python program. In other programs like JavaScript you might have other types of loops, but for Python the for loop and the while loop are the most basic ones. So the for loop in a Python program starts with the keyword for. Then you indicate the condition that you want to be met for the repetition to occur in this case. Then maybe we can have for I in range 5. Maybe we want to print I in our case. This is a basic for loop intended to just to provide you with a structure of how a for loop looks like in Python program. In our case we just want to print I within the range of 0 to 4. In this case, notice that the range function in a Python program does not include the last digit. So in our case, the 5 will not be included in the output. So you need to save the changes and run the program. So this is the output as I have indicated. The last digit in this case is not included in the output. If you want to include it, maybe you can go up to 6. Or you decide based on what you want to do. This is all about the for loop in Python program. Having looked at a for loop, let's now have a look at a while loop. A while loop is almost similar to the for loop, but in most cases it is used in some instances that the for loop cannot be used. So it is more unstandardized, unlike the for loop that is largely more standardized. So to define a for loop, we start with maybe an iterator like I equals to 0. We are simply going to write as a while loop that is almost similar to the for loop that we have had before. So next we write the loop using the keyword while. Or we indicate that while I maybe is less than 5, while I is less than 5, or maybe we can say while I is less than or equal to 5, we want to print I like we have done. Notice that the line containing the keyword while ends with a colon, that is this colon. It ends with a colon, and we have also indicated the range within which we want our iterator to lie in. And if I hit the enter button, I can print what I want to see. In my case, I want to see I want to basically print I. If we were to stop at this point and run the program, we would end up with an infinite loop. And that might break our program, and that is not what I want to do. So to avoid breaking the program by running the program at this point, then I need to increment the iterator maybe by something like 1. Maybe I can say I equals I plus my equals 1. This means that I want to increment the iterator by 1 until it gets to 5. This is something that you need to note about the while loop. If you were to run without this statement, you would end up with an infinite loop, and that may not be something good, especially for a huge program. It might crash it. So all that we need next to do is to save the changes, and run the program. So the program has run, and we have basically been able to print the output here. This is the output. We have been able to repeat the process of printing I from 0 up to 5, as we have indicated in this case, based on what we have provided here. This is the basic structure of a while loop. It can change depending on what you want to include within the loop, but this is a basic structure of the while loop. It starts with a keyword while, and you also provide an iterator here, and also the line containing the keyword while ends with a colon. Before winding up the issue of looping in Python program, it will be basically good for me to state that it is possible to convert a for loop into a while loop, and it is also possible to convert a while loop into a for loop. But in most cases, it is not always possible to convert a while loop into a for loop. But in most cases, a for loop can basically be converted into a while loop. So in this case, let's have a look at, for example, for a for loop for I in range 5. I want us to convert this for loop into a while loop. So if you have a for loop like this one for I in range 5, and we want to print maybe something like something like this, it is possible to convert this program into a while loop. So if we were to learn this program, we would have something like this. Now let's convert this program into a while loop. I will just comment this one so that it does not learn while we have a while loop. So in this case, because we have an I, maybe we can start like I equals to 0 to set, because as you have noticed in the range function, we have started from 0. So in this case, we can set our I to be 0. Then we write a while loop in this case while I is less than 5. We simply want to print I. So we print I, and because we want to because we do not want us to end up into an infinite loop, then we would increment our I by 1, like we have done for the for loop. So basically, this is what a while loop would look like for this for loop. So if we were to save the changes and run the program, we would end up with the same output. This is what we have done. So this is basically this is meant to demonstrate to you that we can in most cases convert a for loop into a while loop. This is something you need to know, and maybe as you use either the for loop or the while loop, you need to determine which is the most suitable type of loop for your case. So before you decide which to use, you can evaluate the condition under which you want to use the loop in, and you also need to consider which loop you are more comfortable with, because they can be interchanged.